Long ago, where the endless ocean met the quiet embrace of the night sky, there was a small seaside village called Moonhaven. It was a peaceful place. White cottages rested along gentle cliffs, wildflowers danced in the ocean breeze, fishing boats floated quietly in the harbor. Each evening, when the sun slowly disappeared beyond the horizon, tiny lanterns glowed warmly in every window, making the village look like a constellation resting beside the sea. The people of Moonhaven lived simple lives. They greeted one another with smiles. Children played beside the beach. Old fishermen told gentle stories as the stars appeared one by one overhead. Everything moved slowly, peacefully, as though time itself enjoyed resting there. Among the villagers lived a young mapmaker named Adrian. Unlike the fishermen, Adrian did not spend his days sailing far into the ocean. Instead, he carefully drew maps. He loved studying coastlines, tiny islands, hidden coves, and distant stars. His little workshop overlooked the sea. Shelves filled with old scrolls surrounded him. Wooden compasses, brass telescopes, faded journals, and hand-painted charts covered every table. People often visited him whenever they planned a journey. Adrian never rushed his work. Every line he drew was careful. Every compass mark was precise. Yet, although he loved making maps, there was one place he could never find: the Eternal Lighthouse. Every sailor in Moonhaven had heard whispers of it. Some believed it stood far beyond the edge of every known sea. Others believed it only appeared to travelers whose hearts carried hope instead of fear. No ordinary map had ever shown its location. No captain could point toward it. Still, the stories never disappeared. Every winter, elderly sailors gathered beside warm fireplaces and quietly spoke of its light.
It shines brighter than every star. It guides lost souls home. It has stood since before the first kingdom. It watches over every ocean. No one knew whether the stories were true, but Adrian always listened carefully. Unlike many others, he believed every old legend carried at least a tiny spark of truth. One quiet evening, while organizing ancient charts inside his workshop, Adrian noticed something unusual. An old leather tube rested behind one of his bookshelves. He frowned. "I don't remember putting that there." The leather looked incredibly old. Its surface had faded with age. Tiny silver symbols decorated its edges. Carefully, Adrian untied the worn cord. Inside rested an ancient map unlike anything he had ever seen. The paper shimmered softly beneath the lantern light. The ink glowed faintly. Across the top, elegant handwriting read, "Only those who followed the stars may find the Eternal Lighthouse." Adrian's heartbeat quickened. The map showed no countries, no villages, no familiar coastlines. Instead, it displayed hundreds of stars. Constellations stretched across the page. Silver lines connected them in graceful patterns. Near the center floated a tiny lighthouse drawn in gold. Beneath it appeared a single sentence: "When the sea of dreams reflects every star, begin your voyage." Adrian whispered the words aloud. The Sea of Dreams. He had never heard of such a place. Outside, the waves rolled gently against the shore. The lighthouse protecting Moonhaven flashed steadily in the distance. Yet somehow, Adrian felt that another lighthouse, far older, was quietly calling to him. That night, sleep came slowly. The glowing map rested beside his bed. Moonlight drifted through the window. Silver clouds crossed the stars. Then, Adrian dreamed. He stood aboard a small wooden boat. The ocean around him shimmered like liquid glass. Above him, millions of stars filled the sky. Not a single cloud remained. The stars reflected perfectly upon the water until the sea itself seemed to become another sky. Far ahead, one brilliant light appeared. It stood alone upon the horizon, not a star, not the moon, a lighthouse. Its light shone gently, warmly, like someone patiently waiting. Then a calm voice drifted across the water. "Follow the stars. Do not fear the unknown. When your heart remains kind, every sea becomes a path." The dream slowly faded. Adrian awoke just before sunrise. His heart remained peaceful. He looked toward the glowing map. The silver ink had changed. Tiny stars now shimmered across its surface. One by one, they began forming a route. Adrian stared in amazement. The journey has begun! For the next 3 days, Adrian quietly prepared. He packed warm blankets, fresh bread, dried fruit, water, his telescope, his journals, his favorite compass, and the mysterious map. Unlike ordinary travelers, he packed slowly. There was no hurry. Some journeys were meant to begin gently. On the morning of the 4th day, the sea rested perfectly calm. Not even the smallest wave disturbed its surface. The fishermen noticed immediately. "Strange," one whispered. "I've never seen the ocean this still." An elderly woman smiled knowingly. "The stars are guiding someone today." Adrian untied his small sailboat from the dock. The villagers gathered nearby. None of them asked many questions. Some journeys needed no explanation. Old Captain Rowan stepped forward. His white beard moved softly in the breeze. He handed Adrian a tiny brass lantern. "I carried this for 50 years," he said. "It has never gone out." Adrian accepted it carefully. "Thank you."
Captain Rowan smiled. "If you truly find the Eternal Lighthouse, tell its keeper that the sea still remembers." Adrian blinked. "You believe it exists?" The old captain looked toward the horizon. "I've seen its light. Only once, many years ago. It saved my life." Before Adrian could ask another question, Captain Rowan simply smiled and walked away. The little boat drifted quietly beyond Moonhaven. The village slowly disappeared behind him. The cliffs became smaller. The lighthouse became only a tiny white dot. Soon, only endless sea surrounded him. The morning passed peacefully. Seabirds flew overhead. Dolphins occasionally surfaced beside the boat. The gentle wind filled the sail. By afternoon, something remarkable happened. The water began reflecting the sky with impossible clarity. Clouds vanished,
The ocean became perfectly smooth. It looked as though Adrian floated between two heavens. Above him, stars slowly appeared, even though the sun had not fully set. Below him, those same stars shimmered upon the sea. He remembered the ancient map, the Sea of Dreams. This had to be it. As evening approached, the first silver mist rose quietly across the water. Unlike ordinary fog, it sparkled softly. Tiny lights drifted within it, almost like floating fireflies. Adrian felt no fear, only wonder. He lit Captain Rowan's lantern. Its golden flame glowed steadily. The mist welcomed him. The boat drifted silently forward. Time became difficult to measure. Minutes felt like hours. Hours felt like moments. The stars above slowly shifted into new patterns. Then, one star suddenly shone brighter than all the others. It slowly descended from the heavens, not falling, floating, gracefully, until it hovered only a few feet above the water. Adrian watched in amazement. The star was not a star at all. It was a tiny glowing bird. Its feathers shimmered with silver light. Its wings sparkled like stardust. The little bird circled the boat once, then landed gently upon the bow. It tilted its tiny head, almost smiling. "Hello," Adrian whispered. The bird chirped softly, then lifted into the air. It flew ahead, only a short distance, then stopped, waiting, almost inviting Adrian to follow. He smiled. "I suppose you're my guide." The glowing bird fluttered happily. The little sailboat continued deeper into the sea of dreams. Far ahead, something began appearing through the silver mist. At first, only a faint golden glow, then a towering silhouette. Slowly, the outline became clearer. A lighthouse, unlike any Adrian had ever imagined. It rose impossibly high into the night sky. Its white stone walls shimmered with tiny constellations. Golden vines climbed its ancient sides. At its peak, a crystal lantern turned slowly. Its beams stretched across the heavens themselves, not merely lighting the sea, but gently touching the stars. Adrian stopped breathing for a moment. He had found it, the Eternal Lighthouse, and standing quietly upon the highest balcony, waiting beneath the stars, was a single figure dressed in long silver robes. The keeper, the mysterious guardian whom sailors had whispered about for countless generations. The figure slowly raised one hand in welcome and smiled.